In this video, we're going to talk about the stinky side of cycling. And yes, we're talking about your bike clothes. Now, I live in an area where the summers are very hot and humid, so I have had my share of nasty bike clothes. So I'm going to share with you some tips that I found for helping your bike clothes not smell too bad, and also show some products that I use to do that. So let's first talk about some tips. So a lot of times I will ride on my lunch break and I will have to keep my bike clothes hanging up anywhere I can. It's usually in a mechanical room. And then by the time it's time for me to go home, the clothes are not smelling too good. So my first tip is rinse your clothes out immediately. I literally will get into the shower with my bike clothes so that when I wash off, I will also rinse out my bike clothes to just do kind of a pre-wash to get them ready to wash later. Now, if it's a weekend and I'm at home after the ride, I will soak my bike clothes in the mud sink if I know that it's going to be a couple days before I wash them, because not all of us want to wash our bike clothes through the wash machine every single day. So the other tip is fill up the mud sink with a little bit of warm water, maybe put just a tad bit of laundry detergent in the water, and then just kind of pre-wash, pre-soak your bike clothes for a day or so. Now, what I've done in the past is I've actually put a little bit of distilled vinegar in the water. So if you use your clothes over and over again, even washing them, they will develop an odor, a stink that's really hard to get out. So in the summertime, every once in a while, I'll take my nasty bike clothes and just soak them in, I don't know, I put about a cup of vinegar in with the water in the mud sink and just put whatever clothes that I have laying around that haven't been washed yet. And I found that the vinegar does a pretty good job of taking away that odor. And then of course you put them in the washing machine with your normal wash and the vinegar kind of washes out and they smell better. And speaking of washing machines, I always recommend putting your bike clothes on the delicate cycle of your washer. And then if you're going to use a dryer, an automatic dryer, put them also on a delicate cycle or a low heat. Definitely don't use high heat on your bike clothes. Now, if you're able to, sometimes I like just hanging up my bike clothes, especially if it's a jacket, like a nylon jacket. After I take it out of the washing machine, the spin cycle does a really good job of drying it out so to where you can just hang up your clothes, and that way they can dry naturally, because running them through a dryer over and over again will decrease their lifespan. And finally, I'll show you a product that was sent to me to test, and this is called Odor Cleanse, and this uses enzymes to neutralize and pull out the odors in your clothes. And looking at their website, it says that it uses a blend of natural earth-friendly metal oxides, including magnesium oxide, zinc oxide, and titanium dioxide. And like I said, it neutralizes the odors in your bike clothes. So what you do with this is you put a quarter cup on a small load or a half a cup in with your laundry detergent. If you have an automatic front-loading wash machine, and they said if it's a top-loading, then you want to kind of fill it up a little bit with water and then put some detergent in and then put this in and then your clothes. And so again, it's an additive to your regular laundry detergent, and it does work. And I'm going to really be testing this in the summer months when they roll around, when my bike clothes are a little bit less than rose smelling, and they can get pretty nasty in the summertime. So I'll use it this summer, and I'll let y'all know how this works in the real test of putrid bike clothes. But so far, I would say Odor Cleanse works really well. You can get this stuff on Amazon. So this particular size does 15 loads, and it's 20 bucks on Amazon. And then they have one that does 80 loads, and that's $38. So again, it's just going to depend on what size you get. And by the way, it does say on the container itself that it's safe to use in high efficiency wash machines. So I've been using it in a high efficiency wash machine, and it's worked just fine. Something else that Odor Cleanse sent me to try that I'm gonna wait to open until this summer when my bike clothes are really bad, and that is a bag that has a powder in it, and it releases it as you kind of squeeze it over your bike clothes. So what you would do is immediately after your ride, you would take this bag to kind of treat your clothes before you wash them, and that would work really well for that scenario that I talked about when I'm at work and I finish a ride and my bike clothes are gonna kind of have to hang up for a while before I pack them up to bring them home. So again, it's just a way to treat your clothes before you're able to wash them. So those are a few tips and products that you can use to take out the stink of your bike clothes. So what are some ways that some of y'all out there deal with your stinky bike clothes, and have you used Odor Cleanse? I'm really curious to know if you have and how it's worked for you. Any other questions or comments that you may have, drop those below. Thanks for watching.